belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Our group just grew a little bit closer each time we hit adversity. My players, we grew so much this year. A lot of them I didn't know before this year, but it feels like I've known them my whole life.
I love you, brother.
Oh, you too,
So happy for you, man. You deserve this.
Good defense there from Davis. Forces a turnover, and James with the flush down the other end.
Been in the boat for a little over 3 months. The sacrifice it takes from your team, from yourself. We said we want to be here this long time away from our families. We got to make it worth it.
Here's Davis, 4-3 in the win. Oh, it's good! Anthony Davis has won it for the Lakers!
A Mamba shot. That was Mamba right there. Yeah, Mamba mentality. Big time shot, AD.
We are a mentally tough group, and to be 100 days in a bubble and to keep the focus and keep playing and stay together like we did, it's because of that mental fortitude.
In a year we all thought we wanted to forget, the Lakers give us something to remember forever.
When you're able to put yourself in this position to be able to win a championship, the first thing you start to think about is how much work you've put in, how much you've sacrificed, how much you've dedicated to the game and to your craft. I think we all live for that moment.
'2020 has been one of the hardest years in recent history for all of us. That's what we want this 2020 Lakers championship to be for Lakers Nation, is a drop of hope and something to celebrate and something to bring joy back.
Oh, it's going to be a special night for LeBron James. He's already tweeting about it, getting his 4th ring, and Anthony Davis getting his first ring. So, Zeke, let's start with you. Chances for these guys to repeat. Where are you on Lakers going back-to-back?
I always think, until the champion loses or gets beat, I'm always going with the champion. So I think the Lakers will repeat, but I think it's going to be tough for them to repeat. And they'll probably lose tonight because, ring ceremony, opening night, those are always tough games to win. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got beat by the Clippers tonight, but I do expect them to come out of the West.
All right, Sam, in looking at the Lakers' chances, you got to look at the roster and what they did in a very short period of time as far as flipping this thing over. Rondo, Dwight Howard, Avery Bradley, Danny Green, gone. Re-signed LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kyle Kuzma, KCP. Then they brought in the 6th man of the year, Montrezl Harrell, the runner-up in Dennis Schroeder, and then Marc Gasol. So on paper, it looks as if they've gotten better. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got it right, Chris. Not only they've gotten better, they've gotten younger, they've gotten more athletic, and they've gotten faster, and they're hungry. That's the thing that you want to do. When you're coming off a championship, Pat Riley used to say this, you got to add some guys to your team that are hungry, that haven't won yet. And so when you look at Montrezl Harrell, you look at Dennis Schroeder, those guys are trying to prove themselves. Dennis Schroeder trying to prove himself as a starter. Montrezl Harrell trying to prove himself that he is the 6th man of the year and that he can bounce back from a bad, poor showing in the bubble. So when I look at this Laker team, and Isaiah's right, they may struggle tonight, and they're going to have their ups and downs during the regular season. But come playoff time, when that defense come together and that mental toughness shows up, like Rob Pelinka said, the Lakers going to be right there playing for a championship, I believe, at the end of the season.
Well, for the Lakers to win, they got to beat somebody, right, Zeke? So looking at the contenders, the Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks come to mind, Boston Celtics in the East. Then out West, Denver, Utah, Portland, I guess Phoenix. You could throw a lot of teams on that list. Who do you have as being the most likely to be able to contend with the Lakers for a championship?
I look at the Brooklyn Nets coming out of the East, and when you're looking at Durant and you're looking at Irving, you got to be able to match the Lakers' 1-2 punch of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And what Kevin Durant can do is he can neutralize LeBron James from a scoring standpoint and an impact on the game standpoint. So Durant and LeBron James, those two will neutralize each other. And then you go to the second player, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis on the interior, what he can do, to change a game. Then you got Kyrie on the exterior in terms of what he can do around the perimeter to impact a game. So I look at those two, being able to really, input their their mental toughness and also their gamesmanship on display when they're playing against each other. And I think Brooklyn has the best chance.
Well, it would be hard to disagree with you, Zeke, on that, with your 2 rings and repeating, going back to back. So whatever you want to call him, I mean, he deserves every moniker we've ever heard. MVP, that's the question for you. When he left this game, he was playing at that level as a top 5 player in this league. From the sliver we've seen in the preseason, will he come back playing at that level?
I think so, Chris. I think Kevin Durant is back. I think he's going to prove all the naysayers wrong. When you watch him in the preseason for the moments that we saw, that Achilles is not bothering him. We know he's going to be able to do that, elevate over people, and shoot that jumper at any time. But he's confident. He's had a year and a half to get his mind and his body right. He's had a chance to sit back and focus on the West and the Eastern Conference. And I'm telling you right now, that fire is burning inside of him. And Chris, not only do I think the Brooklyn is going to be the best team in the East, I think Kevin Durant's going to be the comeback player of the year and MVP because he's got a lot to prove because we talk about Steph. It's been a while since we've seen Steph Curry on the floor, and you kind of miss him. Well, it's been a while since we've seen KD on the floor. And I think he's going to come back with a vengeance and a lot to prove.
Great to have both of those players back, but Isiah, we also get to see Kyrie and KD together and be I can see you giddy over there. But here's the thing. We haven't seen them on the court, but Kyrie said he's not talking to the media. They had the Instagram Live in which Kyrie said, I'm going to start backing people down. And KD was like, no, you're not going to do that. Then there was the burning sage incident before the game in Boston. So many off-the-court distractions for Kyrie already. Is his game going to be bigger than those distractions once we get to the season?
You can talk about the sage. You can talk about all the off-the-court stuff you want. All I know is when number 11 gets the basketball and he go to shaking and baking and doing his thing on the basketball court, he's one of the most beautiful basketball players I ever seen and ever watched play. And now you watch he and Durant together. I just think spiritually they're on the right wavelength. I think their energy is in the same space in terms of what their beliefs are and how they're living their life. And I look at Kyrie Irving and I love the spiritual journey that he's on. You know, we talk about basketball, but then there's a spiritual side to the game that he has, I think, acknowledged and I think is trying to speak to. And there's only been a few players that have come along in the game that I thought has brought the spirituality to the game along with the basketball fundamentals. Pistol Pete is a guy that comes to mind right away. I tried to do that, and I look at Kyrie Irving right now, and he's on that path. He's on that journey. I mean, he's connecting with the earth. He's connecting with the energy. He's connecting with his body, and he's trying to put that into his game. Phil Jackson taught Kobe Bryant how to do that. Phil Jackson taught Shaquille O'Neal how to do that. Phil Jackson taught Michael Jordan how to do that. And Phil Jackson was another guy who would come to the arena, burn sage in the locker room, have you breathing, have you connect with your spirituality, your inner self, and try to put that into the game. And that is the path that Kyrie Irving is on, and I think it's beautiful. I'm looking forward to watching him.
Well, we're also looking forward to watching the champs return tonight against the LA Clippers.